Alright, well, let's go ahead and dive right in. The first part of this tutorial is going to be to configure Virtualbox and get it ready for us to upload our Ubuntu operating system, which you can see here. Regardless of the platform that you're on, you should have installed Virtualbox, whether you're on Mac or Windows, it should be pretty easy to install. And also, regardless of which one you're on, it should look the same. So your screen should, if you do have Virtualbox installed, then you should, your screen should look like this now. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to get ready to upload our ISO image to Virtualbox, and then after that, we're going to pause and do something called, in the next part, we're going to do something called bridging our router, or bridging our connection, our internet connection to bridge to our Virtualbox virtual machine, and we'll be seeing that in the next step. It's probably the trickiest part to getting Virtualbox to run properly if you're not familiar with bridging a connection, but it's pretty easy. So, okay, so first what we're going to do is we're going to click on New at the top left, and the first question it's asking us is to name our virtual machine. Now, if you're going to be following along in the tutorial series on building a WordPress application, then it's going to be best, especially if you're not too familiar with virtual machines or Virtualbox in particular, it's going to be best to just name it what we name it. And we're just going to name our virtual machine Ubuntu. And if you can see, the real reason why I do that is because it automatically recognizes, Virtualbox will automatically recognize by the name and figure out if you're on a 32 or 64-bit version, which you're probably going to be on a 32. So if you could just type in Ubuntu in the name and then hit next. The next question is asking us how much RAM we want to dedicate to the machine. Now, I've only got like 3 gigs of RAM on this machine, on this computer, excuse me. And I usually chalk it up to about half. So if you take it up to about half of RAM, so it's about, about 1.5 gigs that I'm dedicating to it, then both, my Windows operating system and the Virtualbox virtual server should have more than enough each. So, and then so go ahead and click next. The next question is asking us if we want to add a virtual hard drive, which we do. We're not going to be, this part is if you're going to be doing some different networking things, and we're just going to be running ours on our local computers. So we're just going to go ahead and make sure to check create a virtual hard drive now, and then hit create. And then we're not going to go over this part too much, but make sure that you click on VDI, a Virtualbox disk image. In case that it defaults to one of these other ones, make sure you click on the VDI option, then hit next. And what this is asking us is if we want to dynamically allocate storage on our hard drive, and we won't be going into this too much either, but we do. So make sure that you click dynamically allocated and not fixed size, then hit next. And this is asking us if how much space we want to dedicate to the virtual machine. So I usually put about 20 gigs. Now the thing is that it's not going to fill up the space unless you use the space. So, I mean, it's not going to automatically partition off 20 gigs of space on your hard drive. The operating system that we're going to build in total, even when we finish building our lamp stack and installing WordPress and everything, is only going to be, it's going to be less than 1 gig. So, I mean, it's not going to use this space unless it is allocated. And it's actually harder if you do decide to move this virtual machine to a new computer later on, then it's a little bit harder to go back and change these settings. So if you are thinking about that, I mean, as a good rule of thumb, I usually put 20 gigs. So, and then we're going to hit create. Alright, and so that's it. So you should see now a new connection. The machine will be powered off because we haven't actually added our operating system yet, and since this is a virtual machine manager, that's what it does. It's going to take the operating system, instead of having to install it on our computer, it's going to run it right from inside our computer. And so we're going to go ahead and stop there, and then we're going to go to the next part of our tutorial, which is going to be bridging our connections.